I heard a lot of advice in my day. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't put your cart before your horse. There's one that always kind of stuck with me, and that was one man's trash is another man's treasure. Some folks don't find value in things and they get rid of it. And other people find value in those things that were discarded and turn them into profit. That was my plan here. Spring came faster than I had imagined, probably due to spending all my free time in the woods that winter. Logging had ceased on account of all the spring rain making the ground so soft even an Abrams tank couldn't get out of those woods. I was okay with it and was moving forward with my next plan. I was always told that it's easier to get money if you have it. Armed with that bit of wisdom, I was able to secure financing and purchase some unused facilities in the area. Apparently, before the big storm came through, there was a fella who made his fortune making and selling black gold. I'm not talking about oil, but compost. You see, this old factory he had would take unwanted trash from other farms and make this pre-compost stuff. Then this stuff you would smash like mama's taters, cover it, and leave it in the sun for a spell to cook. Presto magico, you'd get some compost. And do the folks down at Farmland love their compost? I'd already established a line of all the raw materials I would need. All I had to do was get to work. I got my purchases made, bought a little bit of equipment, and set out to make my fortune that black gold. In order to make this pre-compost stuff, you need 3 items: manure, sugar beets, and straw. Now why those 3 exactly, I don't know, but that's how the factory was set up. Manure was the easy part. See, right next door to the pre-compost factory was this little place that sold animals. Well, with those animals, they had poo. They had plenty extra. So all I had to do was run over and buy a load. None of the local farmers had any straw to spare, so I called down to the farm shop and I was lucky enough to secure some from them. So, step number 2, straw. On to our final step of getting the factory up and running, we needed some sugar beets. I was lucky enough to secure them from the farmer I was renting from. On account, I think they were about to turn and he wanted rid of them anyways. Of course, he did charge me full price. Phase 1 of the plan out of the way and the factory up and running, it was time to start taking this pre-compost to the bunkers and compact it and cover it. remember driving down to sell this first load, not knowing how it would pay off. I knew the price was pretty good, but I wasn't quite sure. On that first batch, it was kind of small. I was pretty limited on what materials I had and where I could get them. I had to come up with some ideas on how to expand my operation. Like I was saying, that first batch of compost wasn't the biggest. But I tell you what, it was going to pay off awfully nice. If I remember right, I was getting over $16,000 a truckload when I brought this stuff to farmland. It was going to pay off pretty quick. With the basics out of the way and the compost factory up and running, money was coming in fairly steady. I knew I had to secure better material resources. You see, I knew that the old pig farm wouldn't have sugar beets all the time, and the co-op charged a premium for their straw down there, so I had to find a better way to bring those sources in. And what better way than to farm it myself? See, it was about time that Blackbird Farms started farming.